Okay, so this next memory technique is called the PEG system. It's probably called that because it's kind of like pegging symbols and numbers onto what you want to remember. It's very quick, it's very effective, and it's kind of an enjoyable game as much as a memory technique. With practice, you can remember more than 10 things quite effectively, but in this instance, I'm just going to go through 10 things with you to begin with. The key with the PEG system is you have to create an initial batch of pegs, so to speak, that we associate with numbers. So we're going to use the numbers 1 to 10, which I assume you know all of them by now. Um, and for the peg, what you have to do is you create and you find a word that rhymes with that word. So for 1, the word bun or the word gun. For 2, you can have the word shoe or the word zoo. For 3, you can have the word tree or she. For 4, you can have door or even floor. For 5, you can go with hive or even drive. 6 can be sticks or it can even be bricks. 7 can be heaven or it can be Devon. 8 is a gate or a plate. 9 is wine or a vine. And 10 can be a pen or a hen. Now, I know that sounds like the world's most boring Dr. Seuss book. But what it does is by creating the number and the rhyming word, it gives you an easy way of memorizing a image that you can use to associate and locate. So again, you're going to be using the Ali technique in this memory system. So I'm going to pick 1 bun, 2 shoe, 3 tree, 4 door, 5 hive, 6 sticks, 7 heaven, 8 gate, 9 wine, and 10 hen. So that's my 1 to 10, and that's my 10 images that I can begin to associate with just through recalling that image. Now, because we're remembering 10 things, sometimes you may get halfway through and not really remember number 6 or number 7, but because you're using the visual technique, if you remember the ones either side of it, that will help your memory to re-establish with those missing images. And from the images, you can remember the link that you've associated with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a PEG system for 10 brain foods that are really good for you. So 1 is whole grains, 2 is oily fish, 3 is blueberries, 4 tomatoes, 5 are B vitamins, 6 are black currants, 7 pumpkin seeds, 8 broccoli, 9 is sage, and 10 is cinnamon. Now all of those are good for your brain. How do you remember all 10 of them? Well, we've got the 1 to 10, we've got the list, but we want to make it a formal memory. We want to make it so that we can remember it whenever we want to. So let's associate with the pegs. So a gun, 1 gun, whole grains. So you could picture a shotgun firing some whole grain cereal. Or you could have a large drawing of a gun on the floor made out of whole grains. For number 2, you could have a shoe. Now, you could have a mackerel wearing your favourite pair of shoes that you currently own. Or you can think of a sports shoe brand that normally has the name of a personality on the side of the shoe. And instead of the personality, you could have a mackerel. So number 3, a tree. Now, you could think, instead of an orange tree, you could have a big blueberry tree. Now, make it big, make it large. The blueberries could even be the size of pumpkins, so it can be a tree heaving with blueberries. Or it could be a big blue berry tree. So a big tree that's blue in the shape of a berry. So number 4 is a door. So you want to remember a tomato. So instead of a door knocker that you knock the door, with. It can be a tomato, so you knock the door with a tomato, or you could press the doorbell and instead of it ringing, it can squirt you with tomato sauce. For number 5, we've got a hive. This is a great easy one because a hive is where B lives, so already you're part of the way to remember B vitamins. So you could picture a jar of vitamins filled with buzzing bees, or you could have a honeycomb which bees make, and instead of honey, it could be full of vitamin tablets, so B vitamins, buzzy bee vitamins. In 6, we have sticks and blackcurrants. So you could have blackcurrants growing on a bundle of sticks, or you could have a bottle of blackcurrant squash made out of sticks instead of a glass. For 7, we have heaven, and you could have a giant pumpkin because number 7 is pumpkin seeds. So a giant pumpkin with angel wings, or Mr. Pumpkinhead with angel wings floating on a cloud. Or you could picture Saint Michael sitting at the pearly gates of heaven eating from a packet of pumpkin seeds. He can even offer you one because they're very good for your brain. So, generous like that. Number 8, we have a gate. So you could picture for broccoli a traditional country gate. And the funny thing with broccoli is you eat the flowers. The little purple heads of broccoli that you eat are flowers. So you could have the purple flowers blossoming all over the top of this gate. Or you could picture a broccoli man with big fuzzy hair standing at his garden gate waving at you because you're associating, locating and imagining. So a big broccoli man is imaginative. The location would be the gate, and he's waving at you because broccoli men are nice. Then we've got sage for 9. Now, sage is generally known as a wise old man is a sage. So you could have a wise old man sitting in a herb garden with a glass of wine, and he could be sharing information, could be talking to you. Or you could have a wine bottle, and the label can say it's sage wine. And in 10 for 10, we've cinnamon and a hen. So you could have a giant chicken with big hooped cinnamon bagel earrings, and it could be pecking at cars. Now, it doesn't all have to make sense. The more ridiculous, the more likely you are to remember. So just picture in your mind, just visualize for a moment a giant hen, and this giant hen is pecking at cars. But this giant hen is not just pecking at cars, but it's got massive cinnamon hooped earrings. Now, you could have that, or you can imagine this chicken is roller skating, and instead of wheels on his roller skates, he's got cinnamon hoops, cinnamon whirls to help him to go around fast. The more abstract and the more ridiculous, the more likelihood you've got of remembering it. So let's go through that once more. So we've got 1, bun, whole grains. 2, shoe, oily fish. 3, tree, blueberries. 4, door, tomatoes. 5, hive, B vitamins. 6, sticks, blackcurrants. 7, heaven, pumpkin seeds. 8, gate, broccoli. 9, wine, sage. 10, hen, cinnamon.